Next, we're going to secure back the bushing, okay, along the helical grooves. So now we'll do the first one. We put back this white color bushing in place, like that. And then we use the screwdriver, put the screw in there, and we will screw back in place. Okay, then we will turn it around. We find the next position. We put in the bushing. And put in the screw. Okay, and we'll check out the third bushing. And we screw it in. Okay, so you have 3 position. Now we test the helical screw to check whether the lens is moving well, like that. Okay, so looks like it's okay. Just confirm it. Just retighten again. Okay, so we have all this element now in place. Next, we're going to just confirm again. Okay, just confirm everything is in place. All good. Next, we're going to put back this portion of the lens. So this is basically your focusing ring. So this little square portion here will coincide with this squarish portion here. So we're going to put this back in like that. It should just drop in nicely with the flex cables access, in this case over here, like that, and it should just drop in nicely. Okay, just wiggle a little bit. That's it. So now it sits in well. Everything is in place. Next, what we need to do is we need to couple back this outer casing onto the inner section. We're going to, if you look at this, this is actually a slider. This is actually a slider position sensing, and this position sensing, there's a notch here which needs to align to the groove on this inner shell here. Okay, so just need to bring it at the right position, put it in place. Okay, then I can screw back the 2 small screws over here. And number 2. Okay. Alright, so we have all these screws back in. Now we're going to secure back this outer casing with the screws at the top. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. Okay, so now what we need to do next, we're going to couple up the zoom ring to the inner helical assembly. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop this in. There are features within the zoom ring itself. If you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, and that will align in this 1, 2, and 3. This is the bottom of the lens facing me. This is the top of the lens. On this side, I will just drop this notch, the 3 notch just now, to bring it in alignment. Okay, as such. Drop it in. Okay. If it's in the right position, it should drop in and it should turn. Okay, in this case, this is where I want it to be. So there's a screw here, and there's also the metal catch on both sides to couple the zoom ring to the inner helical assembly. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these coupling pieces and fix it back in place. This one, and I'm going to put it back in its place like this. Okay, then I'm going to screw it up in place like this. Okay. Similarly, I'm going to do for the other side. I'll just put this in place. Make sure that this rectangular piece notch actually aligns and goes into the little notch inside in the inner part of the helical, like that. Okay, then I'll just use the screw and put it back inside. Now this is the limit screw, so I'll just take the limit screw and put it back in here, and we will just screw it in place as shown, like this. Okay, all right, so focus ring is in, zooming ring is in. Okay, all these are in place. The coupling pieces are in place. The limit screw is in place. The sensor is in place. Now we're going to put the rear cover. So this is the bottom of the lens. So everything is now looking okay, and we are going to drop this in place. So we align where the screw is. So this is where we're going to align the lens back in place. Okay, that's it. So this is where it's going to sit. Now we're going to mount back the PCB. Let's secure this first one. Number 2, number 3, and number 4. Okay, so there's all the 4 screws in. Now you pick up the printed circuit board before we load this back up again, just to make sure that we are aligned, putting PCB back in place at the side to actually help me push this flex cable back in place. So I'm going to align it first. This. Just push this in firmly like that. Okay, then I just use this notch to push it in. Okay, so just push this notch in. So that it sits nicely and firmly inside. Okay. Next is this small flex cable. Similarly, I'll use the notch to help me push it in firmly. Okay, like that. This one, just confirm it again. Alright, so now I'll just need to align all this rubber mounting onto this mounting post, press feed mounting post, and I'll just align the PCB such that it sits exactly on the mounting post, and I just need to press it down in place like that. Okay. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this out back again. Okay, I'm going to push, I'm going to extend the zoom and push this flex cable in. Unlock this, then you can push this in further. Then we lock this in place. Okay, so this one, okay, in place. Then we're going to okay, right. So now the last stage, we're going to I'm going to put in the copper, followed by the white one, then the clear one over here. This is marking which actually coincide with this rubber marking, this rubber hole. So this is where it's going to be, the first one, first position, like that. Okay. First position. So I'm just going to put this down first and secure it with a couple of screws first, so that it will not move. Okay, so now I just use another screw. Okay, I can actually pre-screw it like this. Just give it a couple of turns. Okay, then you just take the three of them, the copper, the white, followed by the clear, and we can just slide it here and here like that. Now I figure out how to do it. Okay, so now we just need to press it in place. Press everything in place. Make sure the shims are all in. They're not protruding. Okay, similar over here. The shims are supposed to be inside. Okay, all tighten. Then we can tighten up everything. Okay, tighten up all the 4 screws on the lens mount. And that's it. So I just need to take my lens cloth and just clean up this lens stain there. Some oil stain on the glass at the back. My lens cloth. Zoom the lens width downwards. And that's it. Now we test the lens to see if it's working. So let's put everything aside first. Now we just mount the lens and we turn on the camera, and that's it. It's working now. You see that? Okay, so the autofocus is working. There's no sound, and looks like now the lens is working fine. Okay, so I can try to take some shots now. And yeah, it's working. Right, so that's basically it. So I fixed it. So now this lens is working, and you can actually use the lens and enjoy the rest of my photography with this 24-70 f4. Okay, thank you for viewing, and I hope you learned something from Uncle Salih's project. The video might be a bit long, but hopefully you pick up something and learn a sequence of how to get to the problematic focusing element section. Okay, take care and please click the like button or subscribe, and see you soon again. Bye bye.